Hey, y'all. Hey, I will not be before you long. The first thing I want to say that is we on day 29, y'all. Day 29 of this thing. And I'm just gonna say I'm a little proud of me. I did okay, so I want to give accountability because it is my jam. All right. So out of 29 days, I missed 2 days. 2 days I was under the weather. One day I actually uh one day I was under the weather and I actually fell asleep before I could go live. And the next day, I just didn't plan my day well because of I was under the weather. And so 2 days I was off. But I feel like, hey, if I were in school, that would be because I'm doing it. I'm going live tomorrow. So we can go ahead and count 30 days. So 28 out of 30. I don't even know what that number is, but seems, like an A. Still got an A. So progress, not perfection. 2 months ago, your girl didn't even have a YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? Didn't even have a YouTube channel 2 months ago. And so this is what the subject at hand for tonight is. This is the subject at hand. I've been thinking about, so I have a coaching program called Ready, Set, Habits. And in this program, it's a transformational coaching program that helps people focus on their goals and take daily action steps. And I provide a supportive community and accountability for them because accountability is my jam. And so, one of the things we talk about in my coaching program is we get very, very clear on our strengths and our weaknesses. And the funny thing about it is, a lot of times people have strengths that they don't know. So I do help people to identify what are the things that they are amazing at, and what are the things that allow you to bring the best version of yourself to situations. So you'll know what to say yes to and what things you should be saying no to, because there are certain things that I am not gifted to do, and I have to be okay with that. So one example I can think of is taxes. This was probably like before the pandemic. So I am capable of doing taxes. I actually, as one of my professional duties many years ago, I was an administrator for a nonprofit, and doing the quarterly taxes was a part of my job duty. So I know how to do it. It's possible. Do I enjoy doing it? I do not. All right. So things that are like data heavy, like numbers and details that have to be exact. Um, that's not my jam. That's not my gift. So I remember early in our marriage, because I was capable, things like doing the monthly budget, doing the taxes, these are things that because I have done them before, and as part of my professional duties, I've done them before and I can do them. Those kind of fell under my hat um, in the marriage because out of the gifts, I seem to be the most, I guess, equipped to do it. The truth is, I didn't enjoy it. Every year, even now, when tax season comes, I am literally vowing every year to be better at record keeping systems so that I won't have to run here, there, everywhere, fearing that I'm missing deduction opportunities because I didn't have my record keeping tight, right? So I don't even remember how it happened or what even happened. I don't even remember how it happened. So we did not do our taxes for like 2 or 3 years. Um, and it was so silly when it was said and done because I don't know, maybe I was avoiding it because I thought I would owe money. I'm really not sure. Like, what was I didn't want to, right? And so finally, I don't know, it was almost like the Holy Spirit said, why is it that you want to force yourself to do this? Why don't you get help? Right. And so I have a god sister who is actually a CPA. Who's actually a CPA. So I reach out and I'm like, can you help? And she amazingly like walks me through. Not only does she complete 3 years worth of taxes for me, she gives me what I felt were the maximum deductions that I could get. And she would patiently like worked with me as I pulled together all the things that I needed, right? And so what I learned from that lesson is, you this is not your gift. It's a weakness for you, all right? Things that are require I feel like doing your taxes is something that requires extreme like accuracy, right? And I believe in doing quality work, but if it has to be exact and perfect, that's like a stressor for me. So what I had to do was just be honest with myself and say, you're not good at it. I mean, just because you're capable, you're missing the deadline. Praise God, some of those years I didn't owe, and so it kind of balanced out, and I ended up not being like in trouble with the IRS, like owing tons of money, but I could have, right? All because I'm choosing to not operate in my gift, right? And so as I think about this, and this is something that I share a lot in my coaching program, um, knowing what your weaknesses are. We live in a world that it's not popular to broadcast your weaknesses. It's looked upon in a negative way. We have a tendency to disguise them or hide our weaknesses, cover them up, act like they don't exist. And I would encourage you to embrace them. I would encourage you to be honest with yourself about what things just aren't the things you aren't the best at, right? What it does is create a freedom for you. Freedom in the sense that, number one, I am aware of what I am, this, an opportunity for me to be better, right? So identifying that I'm not necessarily, so Texas, say this, I could have made the effort to get better at it, right? Um, like get better at record keeping. I could have devoted the time and the energy, right? But it also showed me the importance of community because I had somebody all along who's much better suited to be doing this. Who it is their gift, right? And so then you begin to value what uh interdependence with other people looks what it means, right? I don't have to do everything, right? And so when I acknowledge that there are some things that I'm just not that great at, right? Then it creates value for what other people are great. Now I start to value the gifts that other people have, right? And then I start to understand the importance of us all showing up and using our gifts, right? But that never happens if we don't acknowledge that we have, and we all have them, right? And so that's my encouragement for you today, to embrace the things about yourself that you know aren't necessarily gifted at, and be okay with it, right? Now you have an opportunity to decide, okay, do I want to improve, or can I have do I have a strategy for how I'm going to accomplish this goal? And maybe it involves creating relationships or depending on someone who's gifted in that area, right? So I'm not saying go around and broadcast to the world things you're not good at, but I'm also saying don't be ashamed of them. I think you should embrace them. It really is the essence of life. Like we should be evolutionary. We are evolutionary creatures, right? So to think that the skill set I have is all the skill set that I would have for the rest of my life is not, it doesn't honor God, number one. But number two, it leaves no room for growth. And that's what I'm supposed to be continuously doing, improving. All right. So the next time you are tempted to disguise or cover up or deny your weaknesses, I want to encourage you to embrace them. I want you to be honest with yourself and say, you know what, this is not an area that it could be something that is possible for you to do, but it just isn't the best version of you. Now, does this mean that you never have to do things that are uncomfortable or you don't necessarily like that's not very mature to think that's true. So there's sometimes we're gonna have to do things. So if I couldn't have found anybody to do it, guess what? I was gonna have to buckle down and get all those years of taxes, and probably would have been some kind of not like a proverbial knock on the door from the IRS to say, hey, get busy and fix your situation. And so that's all I wanted to share with you today, is to encourage you to embrace the areas of opportunity for growth. Um, don't shy away from areas of your life where you can be better. All right. But then remember that we are simply better together. All right. We're always better together than we could ever be apart. All right. And so thinking that you are great at everything or that you're supposed to do everything, it's not fair to you. And it's not fair to those around you who are actually great at those things. You know, so appreciate the gifts of other people. All right. That is all that I have on this 29th day of the Go Live Every Day in November challenge. And I feel like this has been phenomenal, a phenomenal opportunity to get more familiar with YouTube. And as I always say, even if it's a good habit, all habits, new behaviors are uncomfortable until they're familiar. Okay. And so I will say that when I first started this YouTube thing, it was very uncomfortable. Now I'm thinking of ways to refine it and make it more organized and a thing that I actually do. So I can honestly say I'm here to stay. I'm actually going to shut down one of my communities and transition the people here because the same value that I give over there, I could give on YouTube. So all I want to say is embrace your weaknesses and use them as opportunity to be your very best. All right. Or to develop a relationship or interdependence with someone who can fill the gaps, the areas where you're weak. All right, y'all. I love y'all to life. And I pray that you have an amazing evening. I will see you guys tomorrow.